Okay, welcome back guys. It's officially about 3.5 months after my shoulder surgery, and this is probably like the fourth time that I've been out on a bike. It's still slow going, and I've obviously still got a long way to go before I even get close to where I used to be. Now, even before the surgery, I didn't exactly have an abundance of skill or confidence, but the little that I had is now completely gone. So I wasn't really planning on making a video out of this footage, but I ended up having quite a bit of fun on this day, so I decided, what the hell, let's give it a go. I'm on my way to meet a couple of friends, so on the way there, let me tell you about it. Now, the only reason I brought my GoPro along on this ride is because I wanted to test out this mount that I put together for my helmet. Now, generally I ride with a chest mount, but my favorite footage to watch usually comes from a chin bar on a full face helmet. Now, I don't have a full face helmet. I'm also not fond of a mount on top of the helmet, so I decided to try and get a mount stuck underneath the visor of my helmet. And so far, I must say, I'm pretty happy with the results. So I'm on my local trail system called IJG Trails, and the spot I'm headed towards to meet my friends is called the Play Pit, where there's a little pump track, a BMX track, a number of jumps, and 3 brand new drops that have only recently been built. In fact, they were built after my operation, so I haven't had the pleasure of trying them out yet. Now, I wasn't planning on trying these drops as I'm still a little skittish, but with the help and support of my buddies, I managed to hit the smaller of the 2 drops, and I'm gonna have to come back some other time and work my way up to the big one. Okay, we made it. Now, a lot of these guys are still school kids, but as you can see, they're a lot more comfortable on the bike than myself and the rest of the other old guys here. But I'm not going to let that discourage me. At my age, I do pick things up a little slower, I suppose, but I'll get there in the end. Now, while hanging around the play pit and sessioning the features is a whole lot of fun, I do more prefer going out and hitting the trails. So after this little session, most of the guys decided they wanted to head back to the trailhead and chill out with some milkshakes, but my buddy Anesh and I decided we wanted to head out and hit some single tracks. So this is Anesh, and he is by far the biggest e-bike evangelist in town. The bike he's riding here is the Merida E140, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he's been riding it for close on 2 years now. And on this specific day, he was kind enough to let me try it out. So the first trail we were headed for is called Peter Pan, and this is a trail that I've featured a couple of times on my channel. It has a pretty nasty climb in the beginning and then a nice long winding downhill on the other side. So while we were cruising up the Jeep track on the way to the start of Peter Pan, Anesh suggested that we switch bikes and I take the Manny's trail and he carries on the Jeep track, and we meet each other at the start of Peter Pan. So Manny's is about 1.5 kilometers of winding single track with a slight uphill trend, whereas the Jeep track is a roughly 700 meters straight shot. Now, even though Anesh beat me, I was only a couple of seconds behind. Now, it's also worth mentioning that in September last year, when I was probably at my fittest, I managed to do this trail in about 6 minutes and 25 seconds. And here, very much unfit but sporting an e-bike, I managed to do it in 5 minutes and 20 seconds, which is over a minute faster than my personal record on Strava. So this is my very first e-bike encounter, and I have to say I'm pretty much sold. As soon as I possibly can, I will definitely have to be getting one of these. Now, just to clarify, this was definitely not an easy ride. I was putting in as much effort, perhaps even more than I usually would. The only difference here is that I'm able to maintain a much higher speed and in turn have a whole lot more fun. Okay, so I've pretty much been talking since the beginning of this video, so I'm going to shut up now, slap on some music and let you enjoy some of the highlights of the rest of the trails that we rode that day. So here goes. That's insane. Everything feels like a downhill. So as you can probably tell, I thoroughly enjoyed that. We are now finally at the start of Peter Pan, and now I've got to jump back on my analog bike and make it all the way up this mountain. I didn't catch any footage of that because I was too busy dragging my lungs through the dirt behind me, but suffice it to say it was pretty tough. It's never fun following an e-bike uphill. So let's skip to the fun part. There we go, that was Peter Pan, and I must say following someone down there definitely did a world of good for my confidence, considering I haven't been riding for such a long time, plus the fact that I'm not 100% healed from my injuries yet. So we weren't quite spent just yet, so we made our way up to the final trail of the day, and this one is called Dacre, and here it is. Okay, there we go guys, that's it. As I mentioned before, I wasn't planning on making a video, so this is kind of just slapped together with all the footage that I had available. I managed to do 2 drops, which I never thought I would, and I also had the opportunity to ride an e-bike for the first time. So all in all, I think it was a pretty successful day, and I look forward to getting some more time on the bike so I can carry on building those skills and get shredding hard. So as always, till next time, keep making stuff.